As I said, initially we did it because we were buying through them. But the experience we had in buying the house next door was very difficult. The seller, was extremely awkward, and Craig really nursed us through it. It could have gone pear-shaped. She was difficult with him, she was difficult with the solicitors, she was difficult with surveyors, with absolutely everybody. And because he helped us through it, I decided when my husband died and I had to sell the house next door, that I would go back. Also, my husband had trusted Craig a lot. I think we just had formed a relationship with him, and it seemed the right thing to go back. But when I had a problem, I went straight to Craig. I even had his home phone number, because he really nursed me through what was a very, very difficult sale. It was difficult buying it, but it was difficult selling it, because the reason was my husband died so soon after we bought it, and he appreciated that. And maybe he treated me with kid gloves, but I believed it was an honest. It wasn't just a put on being helpful. It was, I just felt he was very caring, and that mattered to me, and that's why I would go back again. If I was selling this house, if he was there, I would go back again. What I wanted from an agent was somebody who could understand that I was selling not because I wanted to, not because I was moving on. Well, I was in a different way. I was selling because I had to. That the house had meant a lot to me, even though we had it for a very short time because I'd worked on it. I would expect them to therefore be not too jokey, which is what Craig did. When there were problems, he phoned me and would, rather than talk to me on the phone, he phoned me and said, "Pat, can I come round and see you?" And yes, in 5 minutes he'd be sitting here and say, he would sit with me and tell me what was going on. And sometimes it was good news, sometimes not such good news. But it wasn't all just done through emails or a phone call. It was very personal, and he tailored it to my position, where I am now. That mattered a lot. It made a huge difference, and it was when other people didn't do that, all I had to do was go to Craig and he sorted it. And again, he would come round, talk to me. It means an awful lot. How did he go beyond the call of duty? It was the things like coming round to see me. It was the things like when I bumped into him in the local shop, he said, "I'd love to see what you did on the house." And he came round to look at it, and my husband showed him round, and he was so proud of the house. He loved it as everything that had been done, everything that was new. And Craig took the trouble to do that. And he didn't know that the house was going to be put on the market a few months later. He didn't know that, it wasn't done just so that I went back to him. He did it, it was a sort of friendly gesture, I think. But he had real interest, genuine interest, and that's why I went back to him. It was the most natural thing to do. Martin Gerrard definitely had the personal touch, in as much it was the appreciation of my situation. It was the fact that Craig took the time, as I said, to come round and see me. He'll stop and chat. He sent me an email this week, and when I sold several months ago, it all went through, just to ask how the new neighbours are. He brought, when I had an offer, I wasn't just going for the highest price because I was looking for neighbours. I wasn't just looking for money. And he understood that, and he said to me at one stage, "I think I've found people who you will like, and let me bring them round and introduce them to you." And this was after they'd done viewings and so on. And he left us, and we sat down together. And so it was understanding where I was coming from. It was probably not the normal sale because I wasn't moving on somewhere else. It did mean a lot, yeah. And it's made a difference. I've ended up with very good neighbours because of it. Yes, I would definitely recommend them. And I would give them, I would tell them what I've just said, tell them about the service, which I think was special. Yeah, it mattered, and I was very pleased.